I think that shelter should be a human right, but architecture for people experiencing homelessness is some of the most stigmatized architecture there is. There's an idea that people who are experiencing homelessness are kind of an underclass, that they deserve a different kind of design than everyone else. And if architects treat people experiencing homelessness like anybody else, there's kind of a judgment. You know, why would you give somebody something so nice?
This project came to the USC School of Architecture through Mary and David Martin of the MADWORKSHOP Foundation. They've been long-term patrons of kind of fabrication and education at the university. They realized there was a crisis in homelessness in Los Angeles, and that something really had to be done. You know, the idea was, what can students do? In one semester, what can students do?
From time to time, we were asked how people can be part of the solution, or how can they get other people to get more involved. And I think the real answer is, if you want to get in the game, you got to get in the game. This isn't about what other people should be doing, it's about what you yourself can be doing individually, your organization, your community. You have to be a part of the solution. We can't solve the problem unless we own the problem.
This is an opportunity to really help the people who need it the most and who can benefit the most from our expertise. This can really turn someone's life around.
It's amazing to build things that people live in. It's that people can have a piece of what you've made and take that with them, and you're leaving a piece of you with that architecture as well.
I never knew I would be doing something for the homeless. It makes me really satisfied that I did something that actually helped someone.
The end goal for solving homelessness is permanent supportive housing. That is what works. And it's cheaper to house people than to do nothing. The problem is getting someone off of the streets into permanent supportive housing doesn't happen right away. We're looking at lead times of 2 to 5 years per project. How do we help people today?
Projects in the studio are filling a gap between the street and permanent supportive housing. There is this kind of break in architecture where we were really going for something practical.
We were in Skid Row, we worked with really amazing organizations doing a lot of amazing things, and we also speak with people currently experiencing homelessness, the recently rehoused. These are your clients. They're not an abstract idea anymore. This is who you're going to be designing for.
You can see that they do pretty good jobs. All of you guys deserve it.
Within just a few weeks of the semester, the students were already housing people. So imagine you've built something at full scale for the first time, which typically never happens in architecture school. It may never even happen in your entire architecture career. And then you put it out in the world, and then you can go and visit.
Amazing thing was, the students spent 4 days building in front of all the other students. And it's something that students don't generally witness construction work being done. So just the kind of crowds that would come around, people were very excited to see something built very quickly.
We wanted to see if we could synthesize all of these lessons and training we had done over the course of the semester thus far and create a real solution that could have lasting effects for the homeless across Los Angeles and beyond. Homes for Hope is a 92 square foot prefabricated living unit that's completely code compliant in the city of Los Angeles, which has some of the hardest zoning and building regulations in the country.
So we decided to do a ground-up module. It's stackable, it's structural, and they're meant to be, aggregated on site into these small communities using a forklift and aggregated over and over again. So it's really one of the selling points of this thing, is that it is temporary. We can build the whole thing in 2 weeks, have it out in 2 weeks.
It becomes kind of a haven where you can really stop and assess where you want to go next and know that you're not alone in that process.
The responses from the city officials were actually very positive. It seemed like we were going on the right track, and they really wanted to help us, since this is kind of the first in its kind happening in the LA area.
Because this topic is so urgent and the city knows it and is very aware that there needs to be action, that we need to do something. So we had the heads of departments of building and safety and city planning and the mayor's office, all as really integral contributors to the studio from a very early point.
Everyone we reached out to responded. Everyone wanted to help. Everyone was looking for a solution.
Architecture should exist in affordable housing, because if it is that kind of generous approach to each building block of the city, inevitably yields a city that's better for everyone. not only the people who are living in that building or own that building, but for all of us.
Most projects at the school don't go outside the school. There's not a life beyond the school. This thing has a life, and it really is kind of phenomenal in that regard.
That was the main point. We don't want tiny models. We don't want things you're going to throw away. If you want to make a difference, you can. If you want to be involved, you can. If you want to house people, you can. And you should.